Hi there, my name is Summer and welcome back to my channel. So today we are back with another tiny living build, but this time we are building the tier 3 home, or the small home, which is under 100 tiles. I ended up under 90 I think though. So this is a 1 bedroom, 1 bath home with a full kitchen, living, and bathroom. It's less than 30,000 simoleons on the gallery, so it's perfect for any sim looking to upgrade out of their starter home. If you want to put this home in your game, you can find it on the gallery at Summer Sims XO. So here I am just working on the exterior of this build. I did have a reference image. It turned out nothing like it, but I'll throw it up here so you can see kind of what I was going for. I definitely wanted to go with something modern, and originally I wanted all the trim, so door trim, window trim, I wanted it all to be white, but you can see here in a minute that I end up changing that. I had a really hard time, and I guess I always have a tough time picking out doors and windows in the game. I just feel like each style is so eclectic that it's kind of hard to find the basic items. And really what I wanted was just a square plain window. So I ended up using these little windows on the sides here, and I used some of the Discover University windows as well for the left side and the front of the home. So here I'm just trying to find a different option for the front door. I felt like the spa day ones were just too open. It just had too much glass. I didn't feel like it was very private, and if your home is this close to the street, I felt like maybe you'd want something that's a little bit more solid. So I ended up changing that out later. I really tried my best to add some dimension to the house because really it is just kind of one rectangle or square. So I started playing with columns and these white shelves to see how I could play with the facade of the exterior. And I really like how it turned out. It was kind of a pain to get all of the shelves to line up with each other, especially on that left corner, but it did end up working in the end. It probably would have been easier if I would have used the 9 and 0 button to raise the shelves, but since they're so easy to manipulate just by grabbing them, that's what I ended up doing. So going back to the front door, I'm looking through all my options to see what looks best, what works best. I went back to the spa day windows again because I really do like how they look. But in the end, I end up going with this door, which I think is from Get Together. I really like the colors in it, and I like that it's a solid door, but it kind of has that glass side light next to it. And those windows look really good with it too, so I'm really happy with how that turned out. Typically, when I build houses, I try to visualize what the interior will look like and kind of plan the exterior around how I want the interior to look, which can be really challenging to get the house to actually look like a home. And so this time I kind of stepped out of my comfort zone and tried building the exterior of the home before I even thought about the interior, and I think it turned out really good, so I might start doing that more. But here I'm just trying to play around with how the floor plan will look. There isn't a ton of space, so I kind of expanded the exterior a little bit, so that added some dimension to the build too, so it wasn't just one rectangle. Right now I'm trying to find a back door that matches the front door and the rest of the style of the home, but isn't the exact same door, which I wasn't able to do, so I did end up using the same door, but I think that's okay. And then I'm using these super cute white doors. I can't remember what pack these are from, but I really like the texture of the door and the doorknob. So I use that for both the bathroom and the bedroom. And now I'm just gonna jump straight into the bedroom, furnishing this. I knew I was gonna have to push the bed against the wall, which is kind of a bummer, but ideally I think only one sim would live here. Or I actually think they can scooch on the bed, but I don't really know how that works if one sim is sleeping on the right side and the left sim wants to scooch and get out of bed. I don't know if they'd get trapped or not. So I used this cubed bookshelf as a headboard to visualize additional storage space, because in a smaller home you kind of have to maximize what you have. And then here I'm just looking for a rug that matches the bedspread, and this bed actually goes with a lot of stuff and I don't use it often, so I was surprised. So now I am trying to downsize different furniture objects I can put in this room. So I tried using this dresser from Tiny Living and the little ottoman side table, but when placing objects on top of things you size down, it's really hard, and for whatever reason I could just not get it to work with the dresser. So I switched out for another cubed dresser, and I was having the same issues, but I was able to get this plant to fit on there eventually, thankfully. So I really like how this room came together. All the colors just go so well with each other, and I really like the artwork that came with Tiny Living. I use this in a few different spots in the home, but I use it a lot in this room. I think it just kind of ties everything together, and these leaf ones are really, really nice. Now I am using the Island Living counters for the kitchen. I think this light wood tone goes really well with the flooring, and I really like these appliances I picked out too. I tried to watch the budget of this house as best as I could. Originally, I kind of wanted it to be a starter home, but it is a little bit more expensive, so I didn't achieve that. But I really like how the light wood tones go with the rest of the house, and I love stacking these Island Living cabinet shelf things on top of each other to kind of create a different look. And then I scaled up a white shelf to put underneath to kind of tie it all off. And then here I am just adding little accents. I went with a blue paint for the walls out here. I like how light and airy it feels. And for the living room, I used a lot of the Tiny Living objects. I kind of wanted to make the most out of them. Since I have an actual bedroom in this house, I didn't want to use the Murphy bed, and I wanted to be able to use the sofa and chair and coffee tables. So I kind of played around with how I could get this room to lay out nicely. I wanted to have a desk in this space, so I tried to keep a lot of extra space behind the sofa and the light. And then I scaled down the size of the lamp because I feel like it's just so big and the shelf on it doesn't work right now. I'm sure eventually they'll go back and fix it in a patch, but I like how it looks smaller better, I think. The living room kind of turned out a little bit more Scandinavian and less modern than I intended, but I think it still looks really nice, and since I used a lot of the same furniture from Tiny Living, it kind of ties it all back together. And luckily, I feel like they're starting to create the same type of wood tones in multiple packs, so that way they're even more interchangeable. The Island Living and Tiny living doesn't match perfectly their light wood tones, but I think they still complement each other well enough to use them in the same space. So in this corner, I decided that's where I wanted to put my desk. I used the small one from Tiny Living, and then the task chair, I believe, is from Get to Work. I liked the light purple color. I thought it matched both the bedroom, the lamp, and the sofa and chair really well. And then I used my favorite plant in the game next to it here with that cute black and white pot. And then here I'm adding some more artwork on the walls, but I think I end up changing these frames out for a different piece I found in Debug. And then lots of Island Living in this pack. I used some curtains from Island Living. I like that they're a little transparent. For the bathroom, I did definitely go more modern than the rest of the house. I love the shower. I think it's kind of weird that it has glass on all four sides though, well, except the side with the tile, but the part of the shower that's against the tiles, if that makes sense, I feel like that should have also been tile, maybe, I don't know. So I wanted to do some purple accents in this room as well, so I used those cute towels. And then I used the same rug that I used in the bedroom, but scaled down to kind of tie it all together. And then I used this cute little bench spa type thing. I put it next to the toilet, which I guess is kind of gross, but it's just a game. So, and then I wanted to put some kind of dining in the kitchen. But instead of using an island counter, I wanted to use the high table that came with Tiny Living, but I had a really hard time finding it. So it's in the miscellaneous surface category, which I think is weird. We have other tables that are similar to this in the regular dining category, so I don't really get why they separated it out, when I'm pretty sure it's actually called a small dining table. But just using neutral tones to kind of keep everything tied together. I wanted to bring some pop of color onto this wall though with artwork. So I tried using these Tiny Living artwork again, but they only have 3 swatches of each picture frame, and 2 of them are blue and the other one is like a warmer color for the wood tone I wanted to use. So I had to switch it out because it didn't match. But I really like these paintings anyways. Right now I'm adding some clutter to the kitchen and switching out those paintings. I think these are in Debug. I'm not really sure what they're from, but I really like them. I haven't seen them before in the game. For the kitchen, I wanted it to be pretty minimal and have just a clean aesthetic to it, which I think it does, but it still looks lived in. I have like a dish rack, salt and pepper shaker, a fruit bowl, and a knife block, and that shelf that came with Tiny Living kind of embedded within the Island Living cabinets and the white shelf I placed previously. So I think the kitchen is finished now. I'm just adding some miscellaneous clutter around the home. And then I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with this space behind the front door. I wanted to put a console table next to the bedroom door, but I couldn't find any small enough that wasn't the Tiny Living table to go next to it because they were too big, which was too bad. So I looked at a few different plant options, but I was running into the same problem. So what I ended up doing was putting a coat and jacket rack with some shelf with some shoes on it next to the door for when you're leaving. And then I just got rid of that painting altogether because it kind of looks like too much. And then for the outside living space, I wanted there to be a couple chairs and a grill. So I played around with the Island Living pack again, and I like these chairs. I haven't used them before, but they didn't really match the rest of the build, so I ended up switching to, I think that's the Seasons chair. It just matches a little bit better, but I did leave that little ottoman that came with the island living, and then this cute little wind chime because Sims seem to enjoy them. And then I was able to fit a bike out here too. I actually am going to extend the space a little bit further so it's not so closed in. And then I wanted to make sure that I included some lighting in the exterior, so I set this little candle on the ottoman, and it shouldn't catch a fire because it's just a light. It's not like a fireplace, how those catch on fire if things are too close. So I also used a cute little candle to hang outside both the front and the back door too. For the landscaping, I wanted it to be pretty similar to its surroundings. I don't love landscaping. I don't think I'm the best at it, but I think this one turned out okay. I did realize though while I was editing that I forgot to put both a trash can outside and inside, which you could probably find room for it somewhere, but I also forgot a mailbox. So I'll re-upload it to the gallery and make sure I have a version with a bin outside and a mailbox. So I ended up going with these little flowery bush things to help block off the pathway to the front door. I like that they fit so well and look pretty good with the surrounding area too. So now I'm just doing some last minute touches. I decided to change the columns in the back to a color that didn't have so much contrast to the rest of the house, but wanted to keep it in the front because I like how it looks in the front, but I think the back looks nice because it matches the railing. So yeah, that's basically all of this build. Again, if you want to download it, you can find it on the gallery by going to Summer Sims XO. So here's just a few images. I think my favorite room in the house is probably the bedroom. I just really like how cozy it all ties together. But you might want to expand it a little bit if you want two Sims to live here, just so that way you don't have to worry about them scooching in and out of the bed. So comment down below and let me know what you guys think. Maybe let me know what you would have done differently or what your favorite part of this build was. And then let me know what you want to see next. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe and I will see you all soon. Bye!